Welcome back everyone to Pep's Pinnacle MMA Reviews, where I give my personal insights, predictions, and opinions on up-and-coming UFC events and MMA in general. So this video is going to be a prediction video on the up-and-coming UFC pay-per-view event, UFC 313, which is taking place, I believe, on the 9th of March, Sunday. If you are in Las Vegas, it's probably going to be Saturday night. Where I am in South Africa, it's going to be 5 o'clock. The main event is due to start on Sunday morning, which is the 9th of March 2025. So UFC 313 is going to take place in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, in America. And it's a very, very stacked card, very, very good card. I'm looking forward for this card for a long time. It is a title fight with the light heavyweight title on the line. So the main event is Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, and the co-main event is Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. And the predictions that I will make will only be surrounding the main card, specifically Alex Pereira against Magomed Ankalaev and Justin Gaethje against Rafael Fiziev. We're just going to ignore the preliminary card and early prelims because I'm not really confident in any of those predictions. When it comes to the early preliminary card, most of the fighters there are making their debut matches or have fought just a number of times in the UFC, and it's very, very hard to predict because you don't really have a lot of info going in. But and also, I don't really recognize any of the fighters there because they're most of them are new. Besides Curtis Blades, of course, Joshua Van, Bruno Ferreira, and Alex Monono, Armen Petrosian, that guy we all know he is. But anyway, back to the prediction, which is going to be the first prediction I will make, which is the most anticipated fight, Alex Pereira against Magomed Ankalaev, which is the main event as a light heavyweight division. So if we analyze Alex Pereira's stats, so Poatan Alex Pereira has fought 12 matches in the UFC. He's fought actually 14 matches in the UFC. 12 have come by victory, 2 losses. 10 of those wins are by knockout. He has 4 first-round finishes. He is one of the most accurate strikers in the UFC currently, and his takedown defense is quite good. He is a very, very accurate kickboxer. Well, prior to joining the UFC, he was a world champion kickboxer. His win method is mostly by TKO, but he does tend to get decisions, but he has yet to get a submission win. His average fight time is about 10 minutes, so he is no stranger to going all the way. He has the stamina to back it up. His most recent fight was against Khalil Rountree Jr., and that fight we saw Alex Pereira dismantle Khalil Rountree in a precise, professional manner. To the T, he saw through Khalil Rountree's guard, analyzed it on the spot, and just broke it down. And it just ended in that 4th round. I think at 4 minutes, 32 seconds in, he was landing some vicious combos to Khalil. Khalil, you could see, was out of it. He was so fatigued, tired, pain. He was just throwing. It was just his heart going out. And Alex just landed those brutal, he landed a liver shot, some ab shots, and then he went for a knee, and Khalil just went down on the ground, and that was it. So that was a pretty dominant fashion victory by Alex Pereira. That fight was in October the 6th, 2024. And if you know Alex Pereira, he fights quite a number of times in a year. He's trying to get that medal of the most active fighter. Still working through to getting that. I do believe that he fought 3 times in 2024, and then another 3 times in 2023, and another 3 times in 2022, and once in 2021 where he made his debut match, which he did win against Michaelides. Sorry, I'm butchering that name, but that's the problem of having complex names to pronounce. Okay, so I do believe that Alex also fought Yuri Prohaska in June 30th, and that was his second match against Yuri. The first one, he knocked him out. In the second one, he knocked him out again. But this time in the second round opposed to the first round. So Yuri lasted 1 round longer, so there's that going for him. Alex has fought very powerful hitters. For example, Jamal Hill, um, as we just stated, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, back when he was in middleweight, when he moved up to light heavyweight, he fought the likes of Yuri, Jamal Hill, and so on and so forth. He's no stranger to power shots, and he definitely has the jaw to back it up. So Alex's fighting style is mainly keeping the distance, keeping excellent distance, and just launching those leg kicks and dismantling your opponent by reading your guard and just getting through that and picking away at the most critical points. And Alex Pereira also has insane power when it comes to like just throwing any combinations. Like if he lands, it's guaranteed to just crack the guy. So Alex Pereira is a massive favorite going into this fight against Magomed Ankalaev. And before I give the final prediction, let's just analyze Magomed Ankalaev stats really quickly. So Magomed Ankalaev yet to get a nickname, but it's soon to come. He has 22 matches in the UFC. 20 have come by way of victory, 1 loss, and he also has 1 draw or no contest. He has 11 wins coming by way of knockout and 6 first-round finishes. Now, when it comes to Magomed Ankalaev, he also is a quite accurate striker with 53%. He throws huge, way more takedowns than Alex. Alex, I think, has only thrown 1 in his entire UFC career, whereas Magomed has thrown like 32 and above. His takedown defense is very, very good. We saw his takedown defense against a right kick back in October 26th of 2024. Like Rakic could not get him down, and when he sort of wrestled him against the cage, Magomed was just able to reverse that position and sort of get back to making the fight, on the feet. And Magomed Ankalaev is his average fight time is 11 minutes and 37 seconds, so he's also no stranger to drawn out battles, going all the way. I do believe that, stamina is not going to be an issue for Magomed Ankalaev, neither will it be an issue for Alex Pereira. So Magomed Ankalaev has 0 submission wins. He has 9 wins coming by decision and 11 knockouts, meaning that he has power. And, even though we have yet to see him submit anyone or really do any damage on the wrestling part, you have to understand that Magomed Ankalaev, the fact that he's from Dagestan just is like a prelude to the fact that he has that wrestling skill in his toolbox. Just as Sean Strickland loves to say, he has the jiu-jitsu skill in his toolbox, but yet uses it. But it's a difference here because Magomed Ankalaev, if he's from Dagestan and, he's training with the likes of Hamzat, Khabib, Islam, Saeed, Umar, you just have to factor in that unknown variable that has a quite high probability of actually occurring in this fight against Alex, of him actually wrestling. And if he does wrestle against Alex, I think that's going to be a major advantage to Magomed, because as we've seen before, Alex's wrestling is not good. He can work on his jiu-jitsu, but it's still good. So I think that's the shining way out for Magomed Ankalaev, is to just utilize that tool in his toolbox to just wrestle Alex and maybe get some advantage there. So Magomed's previous fights was against Rakic 2024, also against Johnny Walker. He fought him twice. I do believe the first time Magomed Ankalaev fought Johnny Walker, it was ruled a no contest, mainly due to the reason that I think Magomed Ankalaev threw a high knee and it hit Johnny Walker, and Johnny acquired a concussion from that flying knee. And it was quite weird because even the doctor had to come in, ask him who you are, what's your name, where are you, and Johnny Walker was kind of weird in his responses. He couldn't really say where he was, but then he still wanted to fight as if nothing was wrong. But I agree with the doctor's decision to call it a no contest, because even if you look like you're in the picture of health and ready to continue, you don't know really the damage that has been sustained, to your cranium, to your brain. So it was always unseen damage that doesn't really take form visibly, but more internally. So you always have to give the benefit of the doubt to the doctor and always abide by his decisions. And, the doctor is, above the referee when it comes to a stoppage like that. But, they did have a rematch where they settled it once and for all with Magomed just KOing, or TKOing, Johnny Walker in the in the second round. So there was no dispute who was the better fighter there. Magomed Ankalaev also fought Santos in 2022 as well as Smith in 2022 as well. He is no stranger to the light heavyweight division. He's been fighting here for a long time. So, he's been number one contender for a long time as well. So he's been waiting and biding his time to get this title fight. Now that he finally has it, I think he's going to put out all the stops and go all out for a win. I mean, the only loss on Magomed Ankalaev's record is when he made his UFC debut. He lost his UFC debut, and that was against, I think, Craig. He lost it against Craig back when he first debuted in the UFC, and that is the only loss he really has, besides the no contest against Johnny Walker, which you can't really say he lost that. um, so, my prediction for Magomed Ankalaev against Alex Pereira is going to be, this might be controversial, but I'm going to say it's Magomed Ankalaev. Everyone will disagree with me, and I understand that, but that's the point of having a personal opinion. So Magomed Ankalaev, why I think he will triumph over Alex Pereira. Now, the striking, the kickboxing, the accuracy, the breaking of the guard, the distance controlling, it's all not in his favor. It's all in Alex's favor. But there's one thing that I think will turn the tides of this, and that is Magomed Ankalaev's just his mindset. Like when he's fighting, he gives off this aura that you just can't damage him. He's like a brick wall. You just can't damage him, and he keeps on going, he keeps on going. Whereas Alex, he dismantles you on the spot with precise movement, and he keeps the distance so good. And, but we do see Alex Pereira, we do see his weaknesses, which was quite evident in the Israel Adesanya fight back in middleweight, and ever since then, he hasn't been this indestructible force. And I do believe that Magomed Ankalaev, I do believe that Alex Pereira will win with the kickboxing, but we also have to factor in the fact that, that's quite a weird saying, we have to factor in Magomed Ankalaev's own kickboxing in this regard, because he also is a very good kickboxer. We saw that in his most previous fight, against Rakic. He utilized very good kickboxing and he won on points all the way. I had it where he won all 3 rounds. So, and also if Magomed Ankalaev, so he's not going to really win on the kickboxing or on the striking or anything, but I believe that with just his pressure that he will exert on Alex, he's going to rock Alex, and when he's rocking him, and he's going to throw a lethal combination, and when he throws the combination, you'll see that Magomed can also very clearly read people. And once he throws combinations, gets into his zone, then he's going to lock him. He's going to cook. He's going to definitely wear down Alex. And once he wears him down, I think he's going to then initiate a takedown, get some ground control. And once he does, I believe if Magomed throws any takedowns, Alex is not going to get up. That's just a very controversial opinion, but that is what it is. So for the main event, I'm going to be choosing Magomed Ankalaev for the win and your new light heavyweight champion of the world. Now for the co-main event, which I'll also be making my prediction on, is going to be Justin Gaethje against Rafael Fiziev. Now, it was quite long running that the opponent against Justin Gaethje would be Dan Hooker coming into UFC 313. For a couple of weeks, for over a month now, it was locked in, But last week, Dan Hooker, publicly stated he was pulling out of the co-main event because of an injury. So now Dana White is scrambling to find a replacement fight for the Justin Gaethje co-main event. And you should see all the fighters that said no to Justin Gaethje. I mean, if we just have a look at Justin Gaethje's Twitter statement, that he released recently. Moicano said no, which, understandable. He just fought Islam Makhachev, and he lost in that first round. So obviously he's not going to want to fight off a loss, and he just fought recently. So that's understandable, perfectly understandable by Moicano. We also know that Charles Oliveira said no, but also understandable. Charles fought Michael Chandler recently. I think it was December or somewhere around there. And also Charles, he would want a camp. He would want a long camp, and he's fought how many fights? 45 fights. I think he has 35 victories. Charles wants a legends, he wants legends only. So I perfectly understand why Charles said no. Also, when you get to that caliber, you want a full camp to prepare, not just 4 days or like 5 days notice. We know that Max Holloway also said no to fighting Justin Gaethje. Also understandable to a degree, because Max Holloway, his last fight was last year against Ilia Topuria, where he did lose by TKO against Ilia, and he also, he would probably also want a camp to prep for this fight. Coming off a loss as well also factors into his decision and his mindset, but perfectly understandable. Islam, of course, said no, because he's the champ and he's not going to just, enough said. He wants a full camp. Dustin said no, and that's, very, very understandable, because I think Dustin is on his sort of last legs when it comes to his career. He's done everything that could be done. He's fought Islam, Khabib, he's the only person in history to actually knock out Conor McGregor, so he's decorated to the extreme. And, he wants to go out with a legendary fight. And I don't think he views Justin as this legendary fight. Maybe he does, but I promise you, Dustin would want a full camp to train for his last fight, not just a week's notice. So props to Rafael for agreeing for this fight, because he's fought Justin Gaethje before. He's fought him before, and guess who won? It was Gaethje. He won by majority decision back in 2023. So, it's not a hard fight to predict who's going to win when you factor in the fact that Justin Gaethje already fought Fiziev. He defeated him by unanimous decision. We don't need to see this again, but apparently he's the only one who had enough, guts to show up, probably for the money, and fight Gaethje again. And remember, Gaethje had so many weeks, maybe months, to prepare for this fight. He's training, conditioning his body. Whereas Rafael, I think he maybe let it go. Now he's just trying to make the weight. It's going to be obviously a strain on his body, but we can firmly say that Justin will win. There's not even a need to analyze the stats, because they already fought. And I do believe that Rafael's not going to come with anything different. Don't think he had enough or has enough time to factor in any last minute changes or any long running issues that he needed to work on prior to that Gaethje fight. And I do believe that, even though Gaethje isn't fighting the opponent that he was trained to fight, aka being Dan Hooker, he's still leagues better than Rafael leagues. And I think, apart from that, there's no need to do an analysis on the statistics. We just know, in my prediction for the co-main event, will be that Justin Gaethje will win by, again, unanimous decision. And there's also many other excellent fights on the main card. We have King Green against Mauricio Rufy, also Jalen Turner against Ignacio Barro-Mendez. And yeah, but I'm not going to make any predictions on those. Only the main event, which I predict Magomed Ankalaev to win by TKO. I'm going to give it the 4th round, maybe 5. And he will be the new light heavyweight champion of the world. And also, my other prediction, Justin Gaethje will just be unanimous decision victory against Rafael for the co-main event at lightweight division. Okay, thank you for listening.